My name's Jocelyn Pook and I'm a composer and musician and viola player. I'd done so many years as a player in orchestras and ensembles, and I really enjoyed it, but I kind of knew that I didn't want to just do that. I didn't know what else I could be doing as a viola player. I had done composition, I had composed as a child, in fact, and young and a teenager, but I kind of never thought that I was composer sort of material in, that I wasn't a virtuoso pianist, and I thought you had to be a particular kind of person to be a composer. And it was quite unexpected, actually, what happened in that sense, the kind of journey of my musical journey, actually. I was always looking out for unusual things to do, and I was playing in theatre and with some bands, and actually getting quite involved in some kind of theatre, experimental theatre back then in the 80s, and which I was really interested in. And I also was witnessing processes that of making work, devised theatre projects that I was involved in, but also making music. And a lot of the composers that I was playing for hadn't had any education, musical education, pop bands, there's some great music I was involved in playing, and some of the composers couldn't read music. So it started to give me confidence about going back to thinking about writing music myself. And then gradually things sort of fell in my way, really, that a friend's video and a theatre company needed some music. So gradually I did start to find myself kind of dabbling in writing music for some student projects. So I gradually started to get more and more involved in writing music, and I played alongside that. My bread and butter was really being a session musician and playing in the bands. I was in the Communards for 3 years. I was on the road a lot in my 20s, and it was a lot of fun, and also kind of encountering lots of different kinds of music. I played in an amazing band called the Three Mustafas Three, which is like a kind of it played music from the Middle East and Balkans, and was very educational. I'm quite fascinated by the voice and the musical complexity and the textural complexity in the voice, generally the spoken voice, which I love as a kind of as a kind of part of my musical palette. A recent project that I did was called Hearing Voices, and it was originally a commission from the BBC Concert Orchestra. It was about mental illness, and it was about, in particular, my great aunt, who'd was one of these unfortunate women of a certain time who had had a nervous breakdown. It was actually only in the late 30s, and been incarcerated in an asylum for 25 years till she died. She'd left some diaries after she died that my mum inherited, and the diaries are extraordinary. They're really quite an insight into a woman, in a very lonely experience of struggling to understand what was happening to her. Some of the writing in it is extraordinarily poetic and funny and strange, and so that was quite a nice material that I had to start off with. I think I've been very lucky. I've worked with very sympathetic people. I've been approached by directors for film and theatre that have asked me for my voice, for my work. I've had very good collaborative experiences, with Akram Khan, for instance, with Desh, which is a dance piece that I did with him. It was wonderfully, it was a great journey, you know, it was a really unexpected, had really unexpected results for me musically, and I think that likewise, you know, some of the musical ideas affected some of the choreographic ideas, and you know, it was a very satisfying in that way. There's certain things that, yeah, I mean, that excite me musically, and yeah, I like challenges, and I like, you know, I often, for instance, work with found material because I quite like just being thrown off course and something in your way that kind of makes you, you know, have to think differently and to, I don't know, or it stimulates you. A piece that I did, it's a suite of pieces called Portraits in Absentia, which originally was going to be, it was originally a commission for radio, and it was going to be, well, it was going to be quite a conventional piece in musical terms, quite a narrative, and it completely changed because it literally was hearing an answer phone message that a friend of mine left. It just suddenly, I was hearing it, and it sounded like she was singing. She has got a particularly sing-songy voice. And then I had another message from this quite eccentric friend and singer that I work with called Parvin Cox, who likes to sometimes leave a song on your answer phone. I'd always wanted to go and record the chants at Arsenal, you know, the crowd chants, and I live very near Arsenal. The quality of that roar of voices, and the kind of all these people singing at the top of their voices with such passion and intention. It ended up being this quite a musical collage, really. You know, music is I think, important in so many people's lives. It's an art form that's so incredibly immediate, and you know, music just goes straight in there. I think as an artist, you're looking for something to say that's different. You're looking to throw a new light on something. Or, you know, even if it's something quite mundane. I think that's the role of any artist. I enjoy kind of taking myself, I suppose, off the beaten track.